this non-denominational church where I said that I had more flexibility to heal and I learned more about myself, and there were people and things that I learned. And so this is where I really started honing in on some things about me that I didn't care for. I This is when I started observing my behavior. My behavior was a concern for me, and I think I had been there because I said I've been there. I was there 10 years. I think it was year 3 when I noticed my codependency. That it was like, well, what is this? Or why am I like this? Because it got to the point where I would sign up for only one or two things for the year. You know, at the beginning of the church year, you know your notes of intent of where you feel like you can be the greatest asset to help the ministry grow, or some skills that you want to hone in on to develop and sharpen. Well, I will only do one or sign up for one or two. By the end or the middle of the year, I was always at 10 to 12 different auxiliaries. And I'm like, how do I keep doing this? And it became a real concern for me. So, like in year 7 is when I actually started talking to the pastor about it. I was like, this is too much. This is too much. I said, I do this every year. I said, I sign up for just the one or two things. And then I don't realize that I am actually trying to fill all these slots because I have time to actually dedicate to make things better with what I'm already doing. But because I see there's a need and it's hard to fulfill that need, I just go ahead and fill that spot. And I was like, why am I like this? And I struggled for the longest. And it was because there were voids in my own life that I was trying to fill. And the codependency was a big part of it. And it was a big part of being exposed to abuse as a child. And I was always having to, well, this person is available to be the adult in the situation at the moment. So I have to fill this slot right now. Because if I don't, there's no telling what may happen to my younger sisters. So I was always in that mode, in that role, and it carried on into my adult life. And um, every so often in your life, you will see how things cycle back, especially when you haven't worked on them or you haven't worked on them enough. Sometimes, even after you've worked on them and you're doing very well, they may cycle back and you may recognize it even quicker and you're able to see how far you've come. But for me at this point with codependency now, and it has been the biggest bane of my existence, this codependency of being engine number 9, being everybody's savior, having this God complex, um, that it doesn't matter. I'll fix it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Nobody else is moving. I'll do it. And it's not that it's not okay to let these things just be. In my head at that time, it just wasn't. So I was always filling these spots. And I kept telling the pastor, I said, I got to do better with this. I said, this is a problem. And I said, my stepmother, she sat me down and we talked about it. I said, and I agreed with her. I said, didn't see it at first. I said, but she's right because I'm tired and it's wearing me out. And he said, yeah, that is too much. Because he said, I knew you was doing a few things. He said, but I didn't realize it was that much. He said, yeah, that is a problem. So he said, do you want to give up anything now? I said, well, how's it going to impact the people of these certain things? if I drop off? And he was like, well, we'll just go by how you feel about it. He said, because I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to tell you, yes, you do need to make a change, and there are some that you need to drop. He said, but you decide on which ones. He said they'll just have to deal with what they have. And so that's what I did. And yeah, it was a struggle, but I did it. I did it. It got to the point where the last 2 years that I was there, um, I only did two things and I stuck with it. The very last year I got to where I was just doing one. And I was so proud of myself. So proud of myself that I just stuck to that one. And after that, that's when I realized it was time to go. I felt a release that I got what I needed while I was there, and it was time to go. And I'm so appreciative of the time that I was there because, like I said, I got to see more of me and me focusing on that, just that one thing. Man, it was a struggle. When I said it was a struggle getting through codependency, man, it's no joke. It's not. It's no joke. It's an addiction. It's an addiction. And I talked about it in another video. I really struggled with it. But being at this place and having more flexibility as a member of an organization, I was able to discern more about myself and focus more on myself and things that I needed to do. Nobody told me that these things needed to be done. I honed in on it. And I did get some guidance on how to best deal with it. But yeah, that was a major win for me.